Call this meeting of Board of Health to order. We'll begin with the roll call.
Here.
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 President Program.
Here. Okay, we have the minutes of our last meeting on September 10th, 2024. I'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes. So moved. Second. Take a vote on that?
Roll call.
Yeah.
Member Gall.
Yes.
Member Lopez.
Yes.
Member Real.
Yes.
Yep. President.
Yes. Okay, any correspondence? I have none. Any other members have any correspondence? All right, petition and hear visitors. We'll move on to old business. There's been a request to rescind an order revoking former nuisance order against Dwayne Wirtz, Alaska, for a garage and out parcel on 22 Merrill Avenue. Do they have a little detail on that for us?
Yes, Mr. President. The board may recall the garage structure at 22 Merrill Avenue was before the board April 9th of 2024. At that time, we presented evidence and pictures. The board subsequently entered an order finding that the garage structure was a public nuisance. Again, that was April 9th. The owner at that time was Dwayne Wirtz, last known address up in Alaska. A month later, on May 15th, the property went through a judicial tax sale. And the new owner is Rashid Deeb. He purchased was a successful bidder at the tax sale. So Rashid Deeb is the current record owner of the property. The deed just was recorded on August 5th. So before the board, we have not only the garage structure that, previously determined to be a nuisance, but the residential structure as well, which is now owned by Mr. Deeb, not Mr. Wirtz. Therefore, we were going to recommend to consolidate this matter into one matter, rescind the April 9th order for the garage structure concerning Mr. Wirtz, and move forward tonight with the whole property owned by Mr. Deebs.
Okay. Any additional questions? Now I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion.
Second.
All right. All on that?
Member Gall.
Yes.
Member Lopez.
Yes.
Member Real.
Yes.
Member Pecora.
Yes.
President.
Yes. All right, we'll move on to new business. We have 5 items on the agenda this evening. We'll begin with 22 Merrill Avenue, house and garage and out parcel.
Thank you, Mr. President. We call Mr. Plowman as a witness. Sir, if you could raise your right hand. I do swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Okay. If you could just state your name for the board.
Brandon Conley.
Okay. And are you employed?
Yes, sir.
In what capacity?
And health director for the city director.
Okay. And in such capacity, are you familiar with the property at 22 Merrill Avenue?
Yeah.
Okay. And to your knowledge, who owns 22 Merrill Avenue?
Currently Rashid Deeb.
Okay.
Philadelphia.
And it's correct that this is on record, based upon the record owner of the deed back on August 5th. Rashid Deeb lives on North 5th Street in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That would be correct.
Correct.
And in the course of your employment, you had occasion to take photographs of the property, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And those were taken on September 11th, 2024, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to show you what I've marked as exhibits A1 through A31. You recognize those photographs?
Yes.
Okay. And those are at 22 Merrill Avenue. And you took those photographs?
Yes.
Okay. I'm showing you what I marked, Mr. President, as A1 through A31.
Okay, we will accept these.
And Mr. Plowman, those photographs would be primarily of the residential structure at 22 Merrill Ave, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And those accurately depict the conditions of the property as of September 11th, correct?
Yeah.
Any major changes that you're aware of from that date until today's date? Okay. Given that there are 31 photographs, you can just generally go over what they depict for the board right now.
This property has been neglected for quite some time. There's some roof damage, overgrown tree that has caused some structural damage. The property has been open to squatters who dealt with on numerous occasions. The property is just a revolving door for squatters and beggars.
And it's true that the property initially was condemned September 12th, 2022, correct? The main house?
Yes.
And the garage was subsequently condemned April 9th of 2024. Mr. President, I would move the admissions of A1 through A31. Mr. Plowman, so based on what you just testified to, do you believe that a public nuisance exists at 22 Monroe Avenue? Okay. Can you elaborate maybe a little more on that?
Just with the property and the negligence of the structure, it would take a significant amount of work to make the structure habitable again.
And does it appear to be unsecured?
It is,
So I'm showing you exhibits, what I've marked B1 through B5, and this is for the garage structure, correct?
yes,
All right. And those pictures were taken the same date, September 11th? And you also took those photographs?
Yeah.
B1 through B5 are specifically the garage structure. And could you tell the board what those photographs depict?
there is a large amount of garbage that is stored inside this garage. The garage is entirely dilapidated. And I would consider the structure dangerous, as we have discovered that people have done squatting in there. And at one point we discovered that people have had fires and different things in there, maybe to cook with or whatever they were doing.
And so it's in your opinion, Mr. Plowman, that both structures are a public nuisance?
Yeah.
Thank you. No further questions, Mr. President.
Okay, let me see, for the record, are there any outstanding city utilities against this property? Are the taxes,
Tax, Your Honor. I would note there's no active water or sewage service.
okay? Do we know how long it has been since there has been water service to the property?
I think it's been active since June 16th of 2021.
Okay. I think I noticed on one of those pictures that there's still electric meters on the outside of the house.
Correct.
So,
And gas meters.
and yeah, so is there electric in the house currently?
No, the service panel on the interior of the house is going to be just completely disassembled.
Okay. I guess the other question is, unlike a lot of houses that we've seen, this house appears to have a relatively new roof on it. And newer siding, new windows. Structurally, what kind of shape is the house in?
It appears to be a solid house, but when you take a closer look at it, you can know, I took in the photos, you can see that the root shingles are coming off. The tree has done damage to the siding. There's missing windows. The tree has overgrown and shoved the foundation just completely out from underneath it, and in other sections, the foundation is just entirely crumbled.
Okay. That was gonna be my next question. You've already answered the foundation question, so. And I think it was clearly stated that the cost of renovation would far exceed the value of whatever the property might be in the future.
I would assume.
And do we have any indication, since this was bought relatively recently, Do we have any indication that this person has any desire to do any renovation with it?
It would appear not. He hadn't cut the grass. We have not seen any sign of Mr. D.
Okay,
But no contact and correspondence
I
anyway.
have not had any contact.
okay, those are my questions. If nobody else has any questions, I'll,
I make a motion that we declare the property at 22 Marriott Avenue, the house and the garage building.
second. All right. We'll do a roll call on that?
All?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Okay, we'll move on to our next property on 42 Clarence Street.
Yes, thank you. Again, Mr. Plowman, in your capacity of employment with the city, you're familiar with the property at 42 Clarence Street, correct?
Yeah.
And for 42 Clarence Street, who is the owner, to your knowledge, of that property? And in the course of your employment, you had to take photographs of 42 Clarence Street, correct? I'm showing you what I've marked as exhibits A1 through A43. Those photographs are of 42 Clarence Street, correct? And they were taken on September 11th, correct? Taken by you. Okay. Again, A1 through A43.
Okay, thank you. We will accept those.
And those pictures actually depict the condition of the property as of September 11th, correct? Yeah. And to your knowledge, any updates, any major improvements? Okay. And I know there are a number of photographs. If you could go into some detail of the depictions in the photograph.
Obviously, the negligence of the structure, there's some roof deterioration, the overhang, the roof rafters, appear to be deteriorating. The siding is entirely missing. What is there for siding is in bad shape. There's missing several windows. There's no gas services there. And the foundation is entirely hit or missing. The pillars that hold up the majority of the house have either been shinned or sang or non-existent.
I know there are a lot of photographs. I'll get through some of this while the board can review them. This property was condemned March 19th of 2021, correct? Yeah. And if I told you that Candy Bartholomew is delinquent in real estate taxes for 2022 and 2023 for $1,029.24, would you have any reason to dispute that? And if I told you that Ms. Bartholomew is delinquent in 17 other properties that she owns, the tune for just 2023 for $5,588.75, would any reason to dispute that? Outside of what those questions I just asked you, focusing on the property here, you feel, in your opinion, it's a public nuisance?
I do.
Okay. And it's fair to say that there's no active water or sewer service at this property, correct? I have no further questions. But
Is there,
And any signs of squatters in this property? Okay. And I would, just by looking at some of these pictures, it appears it has windows and doors, but they're certainly not boarded up. So would you call this property secured?
I would consider it secure only because it would be extremely difficult to get to the front door. If somebody was gonna break through the back door, There's open windows up above,
Okay,
that obviously somebody could get into if they wanted to.
You said initially the property was condemned back in 2021. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
So has there been any work done since then, that you know
I can tell you I started here in 22 and I have not seen any progress made on that.
Has Candy Bartholomew owned it the whole time?
Yes.
Did she own it when it was declared public nuisance in 2021?
Yes, by the public record, yes. She owned it in 2013.
Why did we wait so long? The process or?
To bring it before the board?
Yeah.
I can't answer. Anybody else have any questions? I make a motion we declare the property at 42 Clarence Street public nuisance.
Second.
do a roll call vote on that one?
Member Gall?
Yes.
Member Lopez?
Yes.
Member Real? Yes. Member Tortora?
Yes.
President Trowbridge?
Yes. All right, we'll move on to 31 Avenue B.
Yes, thank you. Similar, Mr. Plowman, are you familiar with the property at 31 Avenue B? Okay. And do you know, to your knowledge, who owns 31 Avenue B?
Tamara,
Cordies? Corizzi? Tamara Corizzi, okay. And again, in the course of your employment, you had a chance to look at 31 Avenue B. And did you take pictures of that?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm showing you again what I marked here as exhibits A1 through A22. These are taken on September 17th, correct?
yes.
Okay. And you personally took these photographs? Okay. Mr. President, I'm showing you again A1 through A22.
Okay, so
Thank you.
those.
And Mr. Plowman, those pictures actually depict the condition of the property as of the 17th of September. And for this property, any improvements or updates since that date, to today's date, nothing like that? And if you could go in again, the depiction of this photograph of Avenue B.
The chimney is deteriorating, missing some mortar, most likely gonna fall apart this winter. There's a section of the rear roof that is most likely leaking. It's being held down with some rocks or bricks. The roof is not in the greatest condition. There are sections of the siding that are falling off into the neighboring property. There is some gaps in the foundation. There is sections of the foundation that had been repaired. Well, also there's sections that would need to be repaired. And the electrical services I would consider dangerous.
And to your knowledge, is this property secured?
Yes, it is secured.
And it's true that this property was condemned August 20th, 2018, correct? And for those reasons, Mr. Plowman, it's in your opinion that this property is a public nuisance? No further questions, Mr. President.
Has there been any work done on it since it was condemned in 2018? Any improvements at all?
None of my knowledge, maybe on the interior.
In your opinion, that there hasn't been an effort made to remediate the violation?
I did not notice any violations being remediated since 22.
Where is it? It says this person's from Bradford. Do they live elsewhere in Bradford?
Walker.
Did I guess just for the record, maybe I missed this, outstanding taxes, city utilities,
Based on the public record, Mr. President, no, there are no delinquent real estate taxes. again, based on the record, Ms. Cordizi was record owner January 2021.
Okay.
Has there been any communication with the owner at all? What her intention is, in the process of doing anything, or?
I have not had any communications with her regarding this property.
At one point, she had planned to have that as a rental property.
Okay.
Oh, do we know how long she's owned it?
Since January 2021.
Or she bought it after it was condemned?
And she bought it from at a public judicial.
She's owned it since 21, right? She bought it in 21?
Correct.
So she's owned it 3.5 years. It's condemned prior. Anyone have any questions? I make a motion, we declare the property at 31 Avenue to be a public nuisance. Second.
We'll need a vote on that?
Member Gall?
Yeah.
Member Lopez?
Yes.
Member Rail?
Yes.
Member Torrey?
Yes.
President Prover?
Yes. Okay, we'll move on to 43 Jefferson Street.
Yes, thank you. Again, Mr. Palmer, you know the property at the Jefferson Street address.
Yeah.
And this may be a mouthful for you, so I'm going to read it from the public record. Am I true in stating that it's owned by William D. Piccolo and Courtney E. Piccolo, husband and wife, and also Eileen H. Dennis and James E. Van Skaggen Jr., all as joint tenants with the right of survivorship? Am I true in stating that? I have no reason to dispute that from the public record. No. And based on the public record, that deed is December 8th of 2021. In the course of your employment, did you have occasion to take photographs of the 43 Jefferson Street?
Yes.
Okay. I'm showing what I marked as A1 through A22. Again, sir, you took these photographs, correct? And that would have been on September 11th. Mr. President, again, A1 through A22.
Okay, what's
Thank you. And again, Mr. Clement, those are accurate depictions of the property on September 11th. Okay. Any major improvements or updates as of today?
No.
Okay. And concerning this property, it's true it was condemned March 4th of 2024, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And to your knowledge, is this property secured?
This property is not secure.
Not secured, okay. And as the board's taking reviews of photographs, could you describe what these photographs depict?
The sanitation of this property is extremely poor. There is multiple loose, broken windows that have been replaced with plexiglass. The roof is in poor condition. There's a good amount of irrigation on its entire structure from roof to foundation, basically.
And again, from the public record, I would be correct in saying that there are delinquent real estate taxes for 2022 and 2023 to the tune of $3,639.18, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And there's no active water or sewer services there.
There's,
Okay. Are you aware of any electrical service at all, to your knowledge?
I believe that the electrical service has been terminated.
Okay. And again, to your knowledge, do you know if there's any gas service?
There is no.
And for these reasons, it's in your opinion that 42 Jefferson Street is a public nuisance? 42 Jefferson Street. Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. President.
It says the Piccolos are from North Carolina. Are any of the other folks, Dennis or Van Skaggen, are they local at all, do we know?
They up and moved overnight, basically. They brought in a couple budget trucks, packed up over the weekend and left.
Recently?
Is that, so they would have moved probably March 1st.
Not out of this place, though, they live in elsewhere.
Yes, yep, they moved from 43 Jefferson to North Carolina.
Fifth in March.
How long have, they own this property?
That would be on record since December 8th of 2021.
You were saying Piccolo's or Van Sciver and Dennis moved in March?
The whole crew. Dan Skivers were in the lower unit and Piccolos were in the upper unit.
They all moved together.
Correct.
Well, I guess I've got a question for maybe the attorneys. So when we have a situation where there's joint tenants with right of survivorship, is there like something different about that for the Board of Health process, or like what their legal rights are, or is it just as if a individual?
So long as the city notified all 4 record owners, I think any issues would be satisfied.
Okay.
So if all 4 of their names were in the deed and it was a duplex, it technically would be considered non-owner occupied. Would be owner occupied. Would not be subject to any of inspections. I'm just wondering, you said they lived in there to March like that? That's unbelievable. They didn't return the shopping cart from out of the house.
There's actually, if you look closely, there's 3 shopping carts.
3.
Yeah.
There was a lot more on the property. There was actually a chest freezer that was full of rotting meat, medical items just scattered throughout the entire property, but our DPW crew went down and cleaned it all up and cleaned up the grass at least once this year.
Do we have means to charge them for all the services? I know we have to find them and all that, but.
I have cited them through the magistrates.
And we do, just so you know, we do try to, whatever our manpower, if we can find them, we do try to charge.
Anything else? I make a motion, we declare the property at 43 Jefferson Street for public nuisance.
Second.
All right. Roll call vote on that.
Member Dahl?
Yeah.
Member Wolf?
Yes.
Member Rio?
Yes.
Member Clark?
Yes.
President Pro?
Yes. All right, we'll finish up with 121 High Street.
Yes, thank you. For 121 High Street, we intend on calling 2 witnesses. The first witness against Mr. Plowman has been sworn in, and we'll get to Chief Ward here after Mr. Plowman's testimony. Mr. Plowman, again, and of course, your employment with the city, are familiar with the property at 121 High Street. Okay. And to your knowledge, who owns the property at 121 High Street?
Shelby Bird.
Shelby Bird, okay. And again, you had occasion to take photographs of High Street, correct? Correct. So I'm telling you what I marked as A1 through A29. You're familiar with these photographs? Okay. Now, again, you took these photographs personally? Yeah. They're taken on September 11th, correct? Okay. Again, I'm showing you the file as A1 through A29.
Thank you. We'll accept those.
And those photographs actually depict the property as of September 11th?
Yes.
Okay. Any major improvements or update as of today?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. And I would be safe in saying that this property is condemned August 30th, 2024, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And if you could for the board, go through the photograph object.
There is substantial amount of foundation issues here. The entire foundation is cracked, moving, shifting. I don't know what you would really call it. There's some roof infiltration, water infiltration through the roof on the rear side. I was in the structure briefly, and I can tell you that the floors are pretty dangerous. As I walked into the kitchen area, I was pretty confident had I gone any further, I was going to fall through. There's some water damage to a section of the sill plate on one side that has also created some damage for the underneath of the structure on that side of the house.
Are you aware of this property secured?
I am not aware.
And based on the public record, would you dispute me if I said that the 2022 and 2023 real estate tax are $2,746.94?
No.
And based on what you testified to about the condition of the property, is it your opinion that public nuisance exists at 121 High Street?
Yeah.
I have no further questions, Mr. President.
I'll make note that the rear deck, the toilet on the rear deck is a nice addition to the property.
That's the fun.
Oh, that's the front deck, okay? And also, just to the right of the toilet, is that a hot tub?
Yes.
Does the hot tub have water in it?
I am not aware.
Okay. All right, I will pass the pictures up. I guess I don't have any other questions on that one.
What do you know about the whereabouts of this Shelby Bird?
I believe she lives at 25 State Street. I am not very familiar with her.
The courts of trying to find her to send documents to her. She lives in Meadville, I'm pretty sure. And she's married.
They're married or they're made in that? So you got nothing, no response, no reply, no comment of any type? And how long since anybody's lived in the house?
They, August 30th, well, maybe,
But legally lived in the house,
Okay.
excuse me. How long since an owner of record or someone associated with the owner of record has lived in the house?
this has been quite some time, given the conditions of the interior and the amount of water damage sustained.
Okay, so Chief Ward is here on this
Yeah.
property?
Yes, thank you. We call Chief Ward to testify, sir, if you raise your right hand. Yep. Tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, so,
And you can state your name, of course, for the board,
Mike Ward, Chief of Police.
and you're employed by the city.
Yes,
And in the course of your employment, did you become familiar with 121 High Street?
yes, over the last month and a half, the police department has become aware of that address, responded there at least 5 times, but we've also had several phone calls in regards to that property as well.
And what were the nature of the phone calls?
Neighbors complaining about the generator running all night long. The house has been taken up by a group of individuals, young males, some not even from this area, but they're apparently, it appears by our account that they're trying to live there. They're running the generator all throughout the hours of the night to supply electricity. And so the neighbors are pretty upset about the noise and just the general conditions of the home. And we've often referred them back to code enforcement because some of it's code issues, but we're aware of the disturbance issues as well. Then we've also responded there at least 2 times with code enforcement because of trespassing issues, because due to the fact that it's placarded, they're not supposed to be staying there overnight it's not good for overnight accommodation. So when we go there to see who's in there, we've made contact, and these persons do appear to be just living in there. It doesn't appear that they're working within the property. At least in our first few visits, they were not doing any repairs. They were just in there. Ultimately, we've had another incident where, due to code being on them to get the property cleaned up, it appears they tried to do some painting inside. Well, all the painting materials and all the debris from the interior of their home that was, they were told to get cleaned up, has all now been found in the woods, way up back on hillside. Somebody has taken a large amount of stuff and scattered all their rubbish up in the hill. So now we have a littering investigation, and we're not getting much cooperation, nor do we have witnesses as to the exact person, but all that debris was discarded out into the woods. So we are working on that. I can just tell you that my guys and officers are reporting to me a lot of in and out activity of this house, and it just seems to be quite busy, as if it's being inhabited when it's not fit for that.
Chief, are we, the way that you're describing this and looking at the pictures, are we kind of in almost like a limbo position where I mean, can you just remove those people or is there,
So, I should add, we did remove the main one that seemed to be the one in charge, if you will. Subject had a warrant for his arrest for a drug warrant and did go to jail, and the last I checked is still there. However, the counterparts, are still in and out of there. I believe that they're using the angle that they're there working on the plates, and they're really not, is our opinion.
Can't they be cited for running the generator at night, disturbing the peace or something?
Yes, that is, now it's been a while because they were approached so many times about that. I haven't had that complaint in a few weeks. But, in the past, it was definitely a 2-3 week period that was quite regular.
Are people still staying there now?
It's probably been about a week since I've heard personally of anybody being seen in and out of there, but, so I can't verify with over the past week.
You said that there was a person you removed from there that was in charge and a drug warrant. But when you guys were up there, was there any other evidence of like drug paraphernalia or anything laying around?
I did not see that personally, no, but, again, the person that was removed, there was an active arrest warrant for. And,
Local warrant?
so yes, that was a local warrant. The other persons that are there seem to be from the Buffalo, New York area, and, not sure what their purpose is.
Was that part of some housing rehabilitation program?
Now, that, as a matter of fact,
Wow, that
these,
Yeah.
the same persons were actually evicted from the Kiwanis Court area just prior, and this 121 was where they took up residency upon their eviction from Kiwanis Court.
How long is the owner that are gone now? How long is she on there?
By the record, June 5th of 2009.
How long ago
But
was
this is no reflection on the board. I just comment. Shame on us. I mean, we're just getting through 2009. Probably didn't look any better in 2009 than it does today. And, should have been torn down a long time ago, but it's a new day.
Just to add one more thing, for the board, it seems that there's a male involved who's advertising himself as the owner of this property. It's not that deeded person. And the person that went to jail is saying to us that he's buying it from this other male. So it seems like, I don't know how it went from the deeded owner to this other person who thinks they own it, that person trying to sell it. So there's a lot of names involved in this process. It seems like.
Haven't we in the past charged people criminally who tried to sell houses they didn't own?
Correct. So we don't know what that male's connection is to this deeded owner.
And just for the record, in case the board is curious, based upon the title search, the lien search done at the courthouse on record documents, there's no land contract, there's no recorded lease, nothing of that nature. It's all Miss Burt with an open mortgage with CNB Bank.
So an active mortgage now.
Correct.
And does this property have a placard on it?
It did. It was removed.
Well,
I realize that this is expense to the city, but being that this property is not secured and that we are having problems beyond just the property condition, is this a property that we should put some effort as a city into securing and making sure that the problems that are being created that Chief Ward has detailed tonight are taken care of?
I think before we do that, we should get a group of volunteers together like we've done in the past, clean up some areas, and go get all the debris that was put up in the woods and return it to the house before we board it up. I'd volunteer to help. If we get enough people, get that cleaned up and we're back in there. Probably if we secure it, it has to be done properly. I've secured houses myself personally in the past. Within days, someone comes and steals the plywood off them, so you gotta use the proper fasteners.
Yeah.
I found that out.
There is actually in the code.
how much longer would we have if we declare a public nuisance, which we will, like, till we can tear it down? Best case scenario.
The owner's entitled to an appeal
That's-
process.
Yeah, I mean,
But best case.
it has to, well, they have 30 days,
They have to appeal within 30.
and then if they don't appeal within that 30 days, you can perfect the file and send it to OECD.
Does an active mortgage have any effect?
That I don't know. I have no
Well,
idea.
it requires you to make sure you get notice to the bank. They're an interested party.
CNB Bank, yes.
And then it's up to them to step in and decide if they want to be proactive or just let it go.
Chief, in your opinion, based on your experience with other homes, is the city spending money to board things up going to make any difference because they're just going to go back and tear up?
So that is my concern. I just know that in prior properties, owners are still allowed to go in during the daylight to try to make renovations. So if we board it up, are we?
Think the owner's gonna come from Meadville to make renovations?
No, I don't, but they did go as far as to do this paint project, but then they literally took all that garbage and committed a crime.
So they're painting the interior when half the roof is covered with temporary roof.
At least during that appeal period, it seems to me like it would be a bad idea to lock them out because you're telling them on one hand in paper, get in there, you have 30 days to abate the nuisance, but you don't very well want to do that and then handcuff them by locking them out. Seems counterintuitive.
Let's get it going. I make a motion to declare 121 High Street a public nuisance.
Second.
Okay. Roll call vote?
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay, before we adjourn the meeting, I would like to again thank, our team that is working, our team that's working on these properties. Realize we have a fair number of Board of Health meetings scheduled. I know we've done a lot of work over this summer and, just thank you for the increased work, in getting this, project, moving forward and addressing, this problem that, Councilman Ball said, some of these have been on the books for years. So thank you. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor of adjourning? Aye. Anyone opposed? Health meeting is adjourned.
Yeah.